Magnificent morning, wonderful afternoon, and marvelous evening. This is Carla from MindPlore with Carla and Friends. And today we are speaking about peace, peace of mind, peace in the world. What actually is peace? Do we really know what it is? Or do we use this word so much that we don't think about what it is? Does it start within ourselves, or does it start from the environment we're in? What I personally think, I am not going to discuss now because I want to hear the thoughts of my panel. I am lucky to have Shivali with me. Seems to show up very often. And I absolutely need that, especially right now when I'm so scattered. And we have Adnan Iqbal. He can clear that up in a few moments. Who is a new friend of mine on Facebook and seems to be able to handle MindPlore and my crazy mind. Having said that, Shivali, can you please tell us your thoughts on what is peace?
Thank you, Carla, and hi, Adnan, and all our viewers. Uh, Peace appears to me a very small word, but it means a lot. And if I look at the contemporary scene worldwide, and I think that peace is needed all the more. And most of the time, we are always talking about peace, love, but the question which often comes to my mind is that do we as human beings really desire peace? So, what is peace to me? Peace for myself as an individual means when I am in a particular state of mind, when I am at ease with myself. For me, it's very essential to be at peace within. Most of the time, the experiences that I have is that when I am peaceful within, that is when I am at peace with myself, I find it easier. I find it much easier to communicate, connect with others. So, this is what is coming to my mind right now. And I remember a long time ago when I was doing my studies, I had read, in the books of Aristotle, Plato, they have mentioned this. So, from ancient times, peace has always been the concern of people, of human beings, of philosophers, but it is something very simple to achieve, and yet it doesn't happen all the time. Probably because we are too much caught up in the externals of differences. So, if human mind could focus more on similarities, I think it would be easier to find peace, because peace is what Plato had said long time ago. It is love. It is love for everyone. When you have love for everyone, then you achieve peace within and without. This is what I would like to say.
I want you to give me and give our audience your definition of peace. What is it?
Yes. For me, peace means to be at ease with myself. When I'm happy under all situations, to me, that means peace. And when I can love both myself and those with whom I interact, that is being peaceful.
Can you define? Okay. Can you go a little deeper in what you mean by peace? Just define it. Is peace inner peace? And if it is, what does that mean? Is it something outside of you? What is it actually?
It's a state of being, it's a mental state. It's a state of being when you feel the tranquility, when you are at ease, when you are, at that point where nothing really matters, in the sense that you are happy under all situations. Being yourself, if I have to put it very short, being yourself in the moment is being peaceful with oneself. Being happy, it's again a state of mind, Carla. It's a state of mind. So, peace to me would mean to be happy in a particular state of mind that I am. Or you can call it tranquility, if I use a better word, a state of calmness. When I am in that state of calmness or tranquility with myself, when everything seems okay, that is peace for me.
Okay, thank you. What is peace to you, Adnan? And please introduce yourself. Actually, Shivali hasn't done that either today. Shivali, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, yes, Carla. Thank you for reminding. I am Shivali from India. I'm a coach trainer as well as a professional healer.
Okay. Adnan, can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Ms. Carla. Thank you, Ms. Shivali. I'm Adnan Iqbal from Pakistan. Basically, I'm a graphic designer. From last 22 years, I'm in this field of IT. And a brief introduction of me, I love martial arts, I love books, I love friendship, and love traveling. I'm a small businessman, having more than 20 persons of staff with me, and we are doing good in our area. Now, if we come to the topic of today's discussion is what is peace? A human being has many conditions from morning to night. When I am at home, I'm happy, I'm peaceful with my family, with my kids, with my wife, with my mother. When I went to my business, the peace of mind changes. When we have a good business relations, when we have good at work, we are in peace. The third state is with our friends. When I go with my friends, we travel, we laugh, we enjoy it. There's a different type of peace. So I think the peace is self-contentment. The peace is happiness. The peace is that you don't tease anyone and no one tease you. You are in peace. I think in our before last discussion, that is what should be happiness, conditional or unconditional, if Ms. Carla remember that. In that topic also, I described, which I think everyone can deny this, but I think when you are contented in yourself, you are a peaceful human being. And when you are in peace, then you can bear anything. You can ignore negative things. You can bear harsh words because you are in peace. If you seen a lion when he finished his food, he is in peace. And even some prey he seen, he never fought, he never attacked on that. That kind of state is called peace. I think so. Yes, miss.
Okay. When you're peaceful, what are you looking for something outside of yourself, or are you looking within?
Sorry, I'm not understanding, miss.
When you are at peace,
Yes.
Is it because of something happening in your environment? Or is it something that is happening within your own self?
Everything. But it starts with the environment. It also includes my family environment if I'm in family. It also includes with business. It also includes with friends. But the best part of the peace is when we spend the best time with our friends. That is in peace. When we spend the happiest time with our family, we are in peace. Both things, I think so. The main thing, your internal contentment, and the second thing, the environment. I think so. That environment plays a vital role in that, but the main part is your self-contentment. If you are happy, if you are in peace, everything is in peace. You can bear anything, you can control things. But if you are not in peace, you can't control yourself even.
Okay. Can we just go back a little? Maybe I'm not being clear, but I'm interested in knowing about who you are and where you come from. And when we're talking about peace, that's what I'm looking into learning from you. Are we talking about something that goes outside of you, or are we talking about something that is within you?
Okay.
Does that make sense? Am I being clear?
Yes, it is. It is, Ms. Carla. I think so. As a human being, we have some uh, important needs, some essential needs like food, like shelter, like business, like family. These are our basic, I think so, basic needs as a human being. If we talked about human nature, I think so, then if you are in peace, and now we should learn, we should understand what is peace as a human being because we are a human. So when our desires, basic needs completed, when our desires completed, like I remember at that place, the interview of president of Microsoft, Bill Gates. I think 10 years ago, I have read in a newspaper when someone questioned him that now you are earning so much money, you are very happy, you are very successful. So what about money? He said, if you have such amount of money that you have your own home, you have your family, you have your own vehicle, it's enough. But beyond this, money becomes a problem. He said that. I 100% strongly agreed with him. If you are a human being, then the external environment affects you. It's okay. Your business affects you. Your family relations affects you. Your friends affects you. And the best part and the major part was Shivali said, the love is peace for her. And these all emotions and things affected as a human being. But if we're talking about a human being, as you said that, where we come from, who we are, so we are a combination of software and hardware. I'm a computer guy, so I can explain it. Software stands for your spirituality, your thoughts, your knowledge, your mind. And hardware stands for your body, your physical parts, your arms, your organs, everything. So if you are in a perfect or a such condition that everything is okay with your mind and with your body, you are a very peaceful person. As a human, we are very peaceful. We are cooperative, we are talkative, we are enjoyable, we are thoughtful. But when the state of mind changes, as Ms. Shivali said, then I think so we will not peaceful. We can't be peaceful because our desires are not fulfilling, our business relations are not strong, our family is not good. We could not be peaceful. So I think so. When we are peaceful in mind and we are peaceful in our body, our physical conditions, the best and you can say that a perfect human being will be peaceful. Thank you.
Okay, what do you think, Shivali?
Yes, Carla, I've been listening to Adnan, and the thing which is coming to my mind was, and of course, I could relate it to the question also, which is being put up, whether it's internal or external, is that, we human beings seem to associate, in general, I'm talking, not specifically, with conditions. That I am peaceful only when, say, my basic needs are fulfilled. I am peaceful only when such and such a person, uh, loves me. So we are making peace conditional. But actually, it shouldn't be like that because there is no limit to that. We know this. We have often discussed this. So ultimately, the question is that you gave the example of Bill Gates, which is a very good example. Likewise, we find in our families and our homes, in the world around us, that even when those conditions, I mean, vis-a-vis, when we think of, okay, peace is based on these conditions, that is, if we are laying down these conditions, then what happens is the people who have fulfilled all those desires and wishes of theirs also, there is no end to the wishes and desires. So again, it is not the acquisitions. Say a person has earned a lot of money, or a person has a very happy family, a person has, he loves to go on adventure trips, and he is able to travel a lot, whatever his passion is. Yet that person may not be peaceful. He is peaceful so long that condition is existing. Yet that person is not peaceful. So that is making me question. And this is a question I'm asking myself, that then what is peace? Peace, this makes us realize that peace is something which actually should be unconditional. It should not be dependent on the external environment or the external situation. And uh, I can take my own life. There have been moments in the past where I have questioned, I've even racked my brains over certain situations and even cried. And cried means not crying in front of people, praying to God and looking for answers. That realization then has struck me over a period of time. It has not happened one fine day. That what I have been searching outside all my life is something that I need to change my perspective. uh, I hope I can explain this, but I'm trying my best. That I need to change my perspective. It is not about the external conditions, it is about my internal state, the way I am perceiving things. The moment a human being, if we are talking about human beings, we begin to sense this, it won't happen all the time. There will be ups and downs, obviously, as Adnan has very nicely put it with various examples. Yet this realization is there if we could only sense that peace is something. It is just like love or other emotions that we are talking about. Peace is ultimately a state of being. It's a state of mind, and it actually should be in its purest form something which is internal and not external. And peace, I'm also associating with, whenever I think of peace, I'm thinking about war also. The opposite of peace is war. You can take it as a metaphor. If you take it metaphorically, that being at war with oneself, being at war with oneself, it's not just at being war with others, being at war with oneself. The absence of peace is war. It's a battleground. Human life itself is a battleground, right? And if we take it on the world stage, in the world scenario, we know about war and destruction and all that. That is why we have that phrase that what is peace? That if you want peace, prepare for war. This is a very old saying. So, I'm trying to relate to peace on several levels. If it's just a pure metaphor for my essential happiness and my inner being, then it is not dependent on any external situation. This is a realization which I think all of us can sense. We may ignore it, but we all know it. This is how I'm looking at it.
Okay. So you're saying peace is an internal thing. How can we create that peace within ourselves?
Carla, we all have to undergo the journey of our lives. There is no shortcut to it. Just by reading books or by reading our scriptures, it's not enough. We can get motivation, we can get inspiration, we can get help, but ultimately we have to apply those things to our life, right? We all agree with this. So I think it's the application part. So how do I find that peace within? I have to make efforts. And one of the best means I have done in my life, and I still do, is when I sit in silence and I pray. I think prayer is one of the easiest and the best means of connecting with oneself. Because when you are when you're praying to God, you are actually having a conversation with Him. And then your inner voice, your inner being, your inner consciousness comes alive. And that is the time when you are at peace. This we all know. This we all know, we experience it. So we need to put things into action. Mere theory is not enough. So for my way of dealing with things has been through prayers. That has been my tool, you can say. I don't know about others, but for me, prayers really helped me to center myself. When that realization comes that irrespective of what is happening around me, uh, everything is fine. But it is a realization which takes place with time. For some, it happens early. For some, it takes a lifetime. That could be a difference.
What do you think, Adnan?
Well, I have seen my grandfather. He has a room in a very big house that is called study room. The best part of the study room is that room has a very peaceful environment, books over there, some personal collections of my grandfather, although he was an army man, but he remains in peace. And in that room, when we enter in that room, my father, my mother always instructed me to be quiet. And that is the ideal place in our whole family with our uncles and cousins, that a very peaceful environment in that room. And the same room I have sit in right now, this is our study room, books over there, my movies collection over there, my personal things, sports, everything which I like. When I come to this room, I remain peaceful. So this is a good point from Mr. Shivali that peace is an internal, you can say that a state of mind, it should be internal. But outer environment already applies a very huge role to be peaceful. But the main thing is, you have talked about how we can create a peaceful environment. So if I'm talking about me, when I see a movie, when I meet my daughter, when I meet my friend, I'm very peaceful. And when, like Mr. Shivali said, Shivali said, that many human beings or some human beings adopted that place of mind for the lifetime. I'm a very peaceful person, if you can say that. I never got angered, just 2 times in whole of my life. So some human beings adopted that state of mind for a lifetime. Be peaceful, be polite, a very humble personalities. Like the best example is Japanese. The best example of a peaceful human being is Japanese. I think so.
You keep
And
on talking about things that are outside of yourself, that you become peaceful because someone else is there or because the room is quiet. But is that really peace? Or is peace something that starts within and spreads outside? Your daughter can be there, your best friend can be there, but you could be annoyed about something that happened at work or something that happened in the world. How do you keep yourself peaceful? What is it? Does it start because your friends are good? Or does it start because there's something inside you that you're feeling peaceful?
I think now it's point of some kind of maturity also. When you are mature enough, your knowledge, your beliefs, and your environment make you mature. Your practices make you mature, your thoughts make you mature, knowledge, environment, other things. When you mature enough, that you should, I think so, you should, or you adopted that place. I think I remember the last discussion also that it should be conditional or not unconditional. So you are talking about the peace should be unconditional. If you are in peace, nothing can affect you to be angry. So I have also talked about that if you have that state of mind adopted for a lifetime, you may be peaceful for the lifetime. No one, no environment, nothing, no things, no books, no movies, no condition about the world, nothing can affect you to be peaceful. So I have given the example of a Japanese guy. If you studied about, especially I'm talking about Japanese and Chinese, not as well. Uh, I have practiced Chinese martial arts also. Our teacher taught us to divert the things, not to defeat the things. We can divert these things because as a human being, we just use over 5 or 10% brain wholesome. And if we are mature enough, we have the knowledge of ourselves, as you talked about, we think that these all things are temporarily came and go. So in that state of mind, if you analyze that happiness, anger, friendship, hate, these are temporary things, I think so you would have peaceful enough that you can deal all with your angers or internal or external. I think so.
I'm not being clear. You guys aren't getting it. I'm sorry. I'm asking you to tell me where peace begins. You are going to get angry. If your daughter breaks something that is important to you, you're going to feel anger. If your wife says something you don't like, you may feel anger. How do you keep yourself from being overcome by the anger and stay peaceful? Do you meditate? How do you go within so you can bring peace outside of you? Do you
If you
understand?
talked about me, Miss Carla, yes.
Not just you, I'm talking generally.
Okay. if we're talking about as a human being, we should be peaceful, and it should be unconditional. But that state of mind or that state of physical body or that environment can be adopted by practicing some things. It can be adopted with the best part of the knowledge. It can be adopted with the peace, with the time lapse as you being matured. Because before 40, you are a thoughtful person, you are a passionate person. But after 40, I think so, you have to be peaceful. You have to see the things. And that place of the mind, you can be achieved. You can be achieved. I think so that it this place or this state of mind, as Ms. Shivali said, that this place of mind can be achieved by practicing, by knowing, by information, and by knowledge, and also by a very good example that a very big miss happened in your life. You have seen everything, then you would be peaceful, and this state of mind can be achieved.
Are you saying that only people who are 40 years old and over can be peaceful? I don't get it. Shivali, do you agree that you need to be at least 40 years old to be peaceful in life?
No,
That's what you just said, Adnan.
that would be another condition, right, Adnan? That would be another condition. We already have too many conditions, the preconditioning is there, that, this is going
Yes,
to
it
take
is.
place. So, actually, peace, the question is that what is peace? Peace actually starts with the individual. I agree with this, yes. And it has got no limitation of age or place or space or country, it's a state of mind, as we have all agreed. So I don't think it is about the age. Even a small child can sometimes, give us so many lessons in peace and love and joy, or whatever you are speaking of. So I don't think it's about age, but I think what Adnan is trying to say, like in response to what I had earlier said, was that sometimes for human beings the realization comes with passage of time. So I hope I'm right in saying this, Adnan. I think you are mentioning this, but yes, it has got
Yes, it
nothing
is.
to say. It has got nothing, because that would be another condition. So the question which I think Carla is trying to put up again and again, and I think she's doing it very beautifully. I'm taking it in a very positive way. It strikes me each time when she says, "So what is peace?" So ultimately, what's your realization about it? Peace is obviously something that begins with the individual, because it's not the external journey. It's ultimately the internal journey that we are making. As we are moving inward, we realize it. So then, how do I achieve peace? What do I do? What does Shivali do? When does she feel that she's at peace? She's at peace when actually she's not doing much. Again, metaphorically, when I'm not doing anything, I'm at peace. Because if I'm doing something, there's something which is involving me. Say, for example, I'm cooking. I'm just giving a very small example. I'm cooking. So, am I at peace that time? Depends on my consciousness when I'm cooking food. Yes. When I'm studying, am I at peace that time? I'm just giving some simple examples. But without beating around the bush, what I would like to say, and I agree with this, that peace is something which begins from within. No matter what we'll do, if I go and take a walk in the park, ultimately it's going to begin from here. Yes, Carla, I think this is what we are searching for, that how do I make peace with myself more than the other? Even if I can take care of my own precious life, my life is also precious. If I'm at peace with myself, I can contribute so much in the well being of the world around me. But it starts with me as an individual within me. It's about the internalization. So it's an inward journey, 100%. So when is Shivali happy? when she's basically in that state of mind, when there's stillness. She's just being herself. But it doesn't happen all the time. That's true.
What does it mean, being yourself? What does it mean? Do I need my best friend around me to be happy? Or is this something that happens from within? I mean,
think
we all talk about this word peace. I want a peaceful world. I want a peaceful household. As long as there are two people in a conversation, there's conflict because we don't always think alike. We do not always speak alike. We don't always use the words in the same manner. For example, the word house could be an apartment building for someone, and for someone who lives in a farm, it's a house with grass around it and animals and plants and everything. So it has a different meaning to the person who has grown up on a farm than a person who has grown up in the city. So knowing this, how are you defining peace? How does it start within? Or is it because I have one person in front of me and I like what the person is saying and then there's peace? Or does it start within without any conditions? It doesn't matter if I disagree with Adnan or you, because it has nothing to do with the other person. Answer that.
then peace, then what is coming to my mind is peace is acceptance. If I'm saying state of being, peace is acceptance of myself the way I am, my situation, and whoever is there with me. That's acceptance. Like the example that you've given, that, where there is bound to be a difference of opinion, a difference, if not conflict, at least a difference of views or perspective. So it's about acceptance. Then only then it can be peace, rather than being judgmental about oneself or about anything else or anyone else. What do you feel, Adnan?
Good. I was just about to say the same. Adnan, put on your smile. And also remember, everyone says, oh, I need drugs to feel happy. I need Shivali here to feel happy. But really, the biggest antidepressant and the biggest thing that's going to bring joy in your life is your own smile and your own laughter. And that doesn't mean because Shivali or Adnan said something I wanted them to say. It's happening from within. Adnan, you have the mic.
You're right, Ms. Carla, that peace starts from inside. I already talked about that it comes with knowledge, it comes with maturity, and it comes with happiness. These three things, if you add someone thing like self-contentment, I think these four things make you peaceful. Now the question is how these four things or how these four states can be achieved. If you, I have known more than young ones. They have more than 3 or 4 of my known young ones. They have very peaceful and a very passionate also. You can say that, but I think so that peace in a human being comes from maturity. It comes from knowledge. It comes from self-contentment. And the fourth part is your desires. The lesser your desires, the more you peaceful. And this state can be achieved with practicing If Miss Shivali said that she's a trainer, she can taught peace, being peaceful. She can taught some conditional peaceful things. But I think so, as in our last session, that as like happiness should be unconditional, so the peace in one person should be unconditional. It is our internal thought, it is our internal condition which makes others also affected to be peaceful. It is when in our families, when our very old ones came in the home, everyone has to be peaceful. And the times come, they're practicing this, that whenever the bell rings, that my grandfather comes in the house, everyone goes peaceful. And we have achieved that by practicing this. So we can achieve this peace of mind, this peace of body by doing many things, by doing practicing, by doing obeying, by getting knowledge, by reading books, by many things. It can be achieved with practicing, and it should be, I think so, it should be unconditional. If you are talking about that, it is, if it is our internal thing, that it should be unconditional. Because in our cultures, the basic character it is, that is called darvish, or that is called Sufis. They're very happy, they're very peaceful. What happened, whatever happened in the world, whatever happened with the family, whatever happened to the outer environment, they didn't affect it. And they achieved this phase of mind, and they have achieved this place of mind by practicing, by taughting, by teaching, by learning from their teachers. That condition should be achieved.
So that's calling for the example that you're giving of the dervishes, the mystics, the Sufis that you are giving example of, Adnan. For them, peace is, or rather, that is what they are telling us also, is surrender. It is surrendering to the higher being, to the Almighty. That is how they have achieved peace. Complete surrender to the Supreme Lord. Now, that's another, that's taking the topic on a very different level. Yes, the higher consciousness, that makes us, the example that you've given is that getting in touch with our higher consciousness. Again, it's something internal. So this actually, brings us to this point once again, that peace is ultimately when you're connecting with your higher being or your higher consciousness, you're surrendering that realization that you are a soul, and connected with the super soul, the Almighty, as the dervishes do, is then a true peace comes within.
I want to add something, if you
Yes.
allow me, Miss Carla.
That's why you're here.
Okay. When you see the universe, the whole world, everything goes in peace. You see the sun peacefully running on its way. You see the star, you see the wind, you see the water, everything goes peacefully. So you can say that, especially if you see the sun in night, especially just laying on the rooftop of your home and see the stars, just very peaceful. The universe itself is a very peaceful and a balanced creation of a creature. So the thing Ms. Shivali pointed out, which I'm also talking about, that if we synchronize ourselves with that nature, we will be very peaceful. Just a point.
But again, you are bringing it outside of you. How do you bring that peace within you? How do you create it? How do you get there when you're feeling annoyed or you're angry or you want something to happen and it's not happening right away? What do you do to create that peace within you? It's not
Yes,
always something outside of you, and you keep on putting conditions on it.
Ms. Carla, we have to understand one thing. I think so. That is a human being, every condition is a temporary. Nothing is permanent. If we are happy, that is not permanent. If we are angry, that is not permanent. And if we learn this thing, even just one point, that everything comes and goes, I think so that our desires, as Ms. Shivali also discussed about surrender to the main creator, these all things, if we learned, if we understand this point in our life, that everything is temporarily, every desire is endless, and every condition have to be gone. I think so that if we understand that, we can be peaceful easily, and it can be taught, it can be practiced.
How?
Yes, the
But
point
you
is
know
how.
what? No, listen to what I'm saying. You're constantly saying because my daughter is there, or because the sky is blue. The sky isn't always blue. The rainstorms can, well, if you want to interrupt me, I don't have anything to say. Shivali, come on, you can talk. I have nothing to say because
No,
we're
please.
not talking to each other.
No, Carla, please say.
No, please.
No, I am understanding what you're saying that, like if you're trying to precondition peace, that, the sky or the whatever examples that we are trying to put forward. Yes, that is artificially done then. It's mechanically. It's when we are in harmony with our inner self. So the question is how? I think that is what Carla is asking us repeatedly. That how do we achieve it? How do we achieve it? I think this is the question, Adnan, that we are being asked. So actually to pinpoint a certain formula, I don't have at this moment. It's about being yourself. Now, again, Carla would ask us, or we can ask each other, that what is being ourselves or myself means. It's an internal thing, actually. It's a state of being. Because if we were dependent on the externals are changing, as Adnan has rightly pointed out. The externals themselves are constantly changing. Everything is subject to change. So ultimately, human beings will need to look within. So, how do we do it? We have these practices. Meditation is one of the means of achieving it. And it's about training ourselves in it, training the mind to do this. It is a practice, actually, something that we need to cultivate, if I can use this word, something that we cultivate within ourselves. And if we can do it, it happens. Uh, Carla, does that kind of give us more clarity?
Well, it's my job is to make you think about what we're doing and not to just automatically answer a question. I'm not annoyed with you. I'm just trying to get somewhere, and I am not good at getting there, obviously, because I'm not bringing it out to you very well. So what I'm saying is, how do you accomplish it? If you know that things are always changing, you can't step in the same place of a flowing river more than once because the river continues to flow. But how can you be aware of that when you're stepping into the river so you feel comfortable and you can cross that river? I don't know if what I said made sense, but if we're talking over each other and not listening to everything that's being said, it makes it even more difficult. So don't think I'm annoyed with you, because I'm not. I'm just I'm attempting to get you to think differently, but also in your manner of thinking. Does that make sense at all? I don't know. Adnan?
I'm peaceful.
By keeping
Okay.
quiet.
How did you create that peace within you?
I have practiced martial arts for 4 to 5 years, and the basic exercise uh, they taught us inhale and exhaust. When I have felt that I have interrupted Miss Carla, I feel that emotion that I should not interrupt. So I be calm. I have just practicing inhale and exhaust, inhale and exhaust. Within 4 seconds, I'm be peaceful. So let's talk about.
So what do you mean? I'm in deepest. What do you mean? Be a little more clearer.
This is a breathing exercise in Chinese martial arts. When you inhale your breathe, stays there, then exhaust. Just make it 10 times and making it more slower. You started with 20 seconds and you've gone with 2, 3, 4 to 5 minutes in inhaling and exhausting. From this exercise, you can synchronize yourself with the air in our environment. You can synchronize yourself with the nature. And if you stand alone with barefoot on the soil, then it can be easily achieved within 2 or 3 minutes. And I just quoted with a very common saying of a prophet that if you're in anger, change your place, change your condition. These are some basic exercises. If you are in very good anger, change your condition. If you're standing, be seated. If you are sitting, be lay down, drink the water. Many things you can do when you're in anger, you want to be peaceful. Many things you can do it. This is the one exercise I have learned from my teacher, martial arts, Chinese martial art. So there are so many exercises. You can be peaceful if you're practicing that. In your daily life, I have, when I have angry, when I've not in peace, when I am in war, in that condition, fighting conditions, I changed my place. I started practicing inhaling, exhausting, and within 2 and 3 minutes, everything should be changed. Everything changed, and it should be, because very common saying, not a very common saying, very interesting saying by a physiotherapist, by a psychologist said that every state of mind needs maximum 12 minutes. This is a very interesting thing. If you're angry, you feel very much anger, this state of mind can be ended within 12 minutes. If you control that 12 minutes, you will be peaceful.
If you, again, you're putting on if you can control. Sometimes I get annoyed. And I have to admit, sometimes it shows. Sometimes it doesn't. It depends on what is happening. But that doesn't mean I am knocked off of my center. Many times I am. When I'm angry, I do get knocked off. But to continue to be peaceful is another thing. Noticing that it doesn't matter whether you understand me or we agree. It really doesn't matter. What matters is we have communicated. And I think I'm scaring you off of MindPlore. I hope I'm not, but I may be. We do need to think about getting off soon. So I would like to get from everyone, from the two of you, how you define peace ever since this conversation. Has it changed or is it exactly the same? Adnan?
I think as a human being, I can be peaceful permanently by practicing some basic exercises, by getting many knowledges, by getting experienced, and the one thing by getting at the age of 40, I can say that. After that, and the main thing is self-contentment. And this state of mind can be achieved permanently. I have to communicate, but when we see like a river, like a sea, very peaceful. Sometimes river storm, the tsunami may came, but you can say that more of the time it could be peaceful. Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay, Shivali.
Carla, honestly speaking, today's topic is making me think. I'm still thinking, and I'm going to think about it even tomorrow. I am
Good.
saying
I need you on Thursday, so that's very good.
this, I'm going to think about this because if I'm asked today, tonight, that's what is my takeaway from this entire conversation, there's only one thing that is coming to my mind is that it's all about my internal state. My internal state. I need to work on my internal state. Irrespective of what is happening outside, doesn't really matter. I need to work on my inner state to achieve, if there is something called peace. This is what I'm going to work on. This is what I'm going to work on. That it's about the internal, it's not about the external. 100% this realization is there.
Okay. And for me, I realize that we all think in so many different ways. And yet I really believe, and Adnan will not believe me when I say this, we all agree. We just have different ways of expressing it. And the different ways of expressing it makes it difficult to communicate because we do use words in a different way. So maybe silence is more important than talking. Anyway, hopefully we will be back on Thursday. I know we have another crowd coming up. And I want to thank Shivali and Adnan and everyone who saw the show or will see it on replay for watching. And we are going to wave goodbye. Can everyone wave goodbye until Thursday? Thank you so very, very much.